The friendly and sensible Hyundai Grand i10 Nios has been with us for a couple of years now, but before it starts getting a bit long in the tooth, Hyundai is out with an update. Over this video, we'll quickly run through what's new, what's changed and what stays the same. I'll start with the changes on the outside. Of course, a facelift today means a larger grille, and that's what you get on the Nios too. The grille makes up most of the redone front bumper that's also home to new tri-arrow DRLs. Before you ask, yup, the earlier Nios' projector fog lamps have been lost in the transition. Interestingly, the vents besides the DRLs aren't fake and actually channel air to the wheel arches. There are no changes to the headlights or bonnet, but a closed look will reveal a flatter satin finished Hyundai logo. At the sides, it's just a new design for the 15-inch diamond cut alloy wheels that tell you this is the updated Nios. Styling at the back though has been jazzed up. The boot lid is reprofiled, but more prominent are the reshaped tail lights that are linked by a band, something that's becoming very common now. But while the tail lamps also get an update with LED elements, the band is merely a reflector and doesn't light up. To me, the visual tweaks sure make the Grand i10 Nios a bit more eye-catching. But do you like the way it looks? Let us know in the comment section below, and while you're at it, do subscribe to Autocar India if you haven't already. Now, inside. Inside, the changes are not quite as pronounced as they are on the outside, but if you compare the older car with this one, you will note that the seat fabric has changed. It's quite nice to look at. There are also lighter materials on the inside and they help the look of things here. Of the other things that have changed, you get new instruments with analog dials for the speedometer, replacing the digital unit on the older Grand i10 Nios. I think this arrangement looks a lot nicer. The MID is also pretty informative, though curiously it features a graphic of the Grand i10 Nios in its base trim. A Type-C USB port has also been incorporated with this update, and though the 8-inch touchscreen hasn't been changed, it remains a very user-friendly screen. The other new addition on the Grand i10 Nios is cruise control. If you zoom out and see, you'll find top-spec Astra versions of the Nios are pretty well equipped. That's that for comfort and convenience features. Where the Grand i10 Nios takes a big step up is in safety equipment. Now you get 4 airbags as standard, so you get 2 front airbags as you did before, and there are also side airbags which are now part of the package. Top spec versions also add in curtain airbags, taking the airbag count to 6. There's also electronic stability control on higher spec variants. Hill start assist has also been packaged in, and there's also a tire pressure monitoring system. Crucially, the added safety features will help prevent accidents and go above what's required by the norms. On the subject, the Grand i10 Nios complies with all Indian safety regulations, but now, before you ask, the Grand i10 in its latest avatar hasn't been tested by global NCAP as yet, but the last version was in 2020 and it scored just 2 stars. Hyundai hasn't informed us whether the body has been enhanced structurally, so it will be interesting to see how this version scores if it is put to the test. In other aspects, the Nios remains the same, and that's no bad thing. As before, it is a very neatly laid out cabin. There's a lot of practicality just built into it. You get a recess here, there's a nice large glove box, there's a wireless charging pad at the base of the center console. You get cup holders, large bottle holders, so you're well catered to on that front. Quality is good too for this class, and ironically, the finish is better than in the pricier Hyundai i20. Other things to like about the Grand i10 Nios is the slightly elevated seating position, which not only gives you a good view of the world outside, but also makes getting in and out that much easier. What I still don't like about the Grand i10 Nios' front seats are these fixed headrests. They're just too small and won't provide adequate whiplash protection. Over to the back seats. The Grand i10 Nios might not look it, but it is a spacious car. Now, I'm just under 6 feet tall, the front seat is set to my driving position, and I am very well catered to on headroom, and knee room is also very good. With this update, Hyundai has also scooped out the back of the front seats, and what you get is even more knee room and that greater sense of space on the inside. What this cabin is not is a comfy place for 3 to sit side by side. This is a cabin best for 2. The rear seat is comfy, and adding to comfort are rear aircon vents, but there's no center armrest this time around either. As before, adjustable rear headrests are included, and an important new safety addition are ISOFIX child seat mounts at the back. There's no change to the 260-litre boot, which can accommodate a large suitcase with ease, though you will need effort lifting the luggage over that high lip. With the update, Hyundai has trimmed the Grand i10 Nios' engine lineup further. The diesel was dropped early last year, while the turbo variant with that fun 1-litre turbo petrol engine has also been discontinued. The 1.2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine is the sole engine on offer and can be had with a 5-speed manual gearbox or a 5-speed AMT. And as before, there's a CNG derivative too that gets manual transmission only. As already mentioned, the Grand i10 uses Hyundai's 1.2-litre 4-cylinder 83 horsepower petrol engine, but it is future ready now in the sense it complies with the upcoming real-world driving emission norms and can also run on i10, which is petrol with a 20% ethanol blend. But in terms of the driving experience, it doesn't feel any different to what it was before. As before, the highlight of this engine is its refinement. It's nice and quiet, it runs very smoothly, but if you drive a bit harder, there is this uncharacteristic thrum that you hear from it. Still, it never gets too loud and remains very likable. Performance-wise too, there's really nothing to complain about this engine, so long as your driving is primarily within town. It's got a nice level of pep when you're just starting out, power comes in quite easily, but it doesn't quite have the responsiveness that you get in Suzuki's K12 1.2-litre engine. Performance is adequate, but no more. Again, if you're looking for a fun handling car, maybe the Grand i10 Nios isn't for you. This is a city car and it takes its role very seriously. The steering is easy to twirl, this is a very maneuverable car, and even ride comfort is rather nice, and all of these things really add up to make this a very sensible city car. For added convenience, you can opt for the AMT transmission version, though even the manual's light clutch and smooth shifting gearbox are easy to live with. The Nios will be easy on your wallet too, delivering between 12 to 14 km per litre in town and 16 to 17 kpl out on the highway. The Grand i10 Nios sees a slight price increase, but as before slots in between the more affordable Tata Tiago and pricier Maruti Suzuki Swift, both of which also get AMT options and CNG versions. We'll bring the rivals together soon, but for now I can say that the revised styling does its job to refresh the Grand i10 Nios, though it's the added safety features that are the bigger draw. As a package, the Grand i10 Nios remains a sensible family hatchback that's home in the city.